Hello, hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you never run out of content ideas again. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this unique creative content development process. I want to teach you how to create more engaging content, more remarkable content that you want to post, something that's going to help you reach more qualified customers online. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button and subscribe to this channel. You can just see that button below underneath this video. And also below is a description box of information. And within this description box, you're going to see a few links. The first link that you'll see is for my book, which I wrote called I Just Did a Thing. And in that book, I go into more detail about the science, because there is science that is connected to why tapping into your creativity does help you with your content creation. I explained to you about that right side of our brain and how this is all connected within our body and within our emotions to help us make big changes in our business. And I even touch on if you're looking to make any kind of pivot in your life. And the second link that you're going to see below is so that you can subscribe to the Create Your Business program, so you can personally go through the process of developing amazing content. And I'm going to show you how to experience creative activities that's going to teach you how to not just reach the people that you want to talk with, but to grow your reach online. So today's video, we're going to continue this conversation about how to stay consistent. And I want to talk through the concept of repurposing your content and why this is so important. And I also want to include in today's conversation evergreen content, because I truly believe that repurposing your content and adding in evergreen content, both of these together, is going to help you with your consistency and being able to stay present online to help you market your business. Because your goal for content creation isn't just about I want to create a new piece of content every day. That's not what the goal should be. The goal is working on creating the content that your community wants to know about, creating something that's valuable, and also understanding when it comes to repurposing and evergreen content, it's taking a look at the content that you've already created and how to get it in front of even more potential customers. All right, so let's jump right in this today. And let's start with this one thought. I get it. I'm a small business owner just like you are. And I see that one of our most valuable resources as a small business owner is our time. And repurposing your content is one of the best ways that you can save time in this whole content creation process. And not only does it save you time, but repurposing your content will actually give you an SEO, search engine optimization boost to your website, because it gives you multiple pieces of content that's connected to your keyword that will help you receive links back to your site. So I'm going to touch on each piece of the pieces and parts of that sentence that I just said. I'm going to break that whole thing down and explain to you about the SEO, about the keywords, about saving you time, and about how repurposed content is going to help you reach new people. Because here's the thing about content. Many times your original piece of content just reached your immediate community. You know, the people that are directly following you on Instagram, the people that get your email every single week. And when we repurpose our content and we use it on different platforms, it helps you to connect to new people and new places, especially the places where they're hanging out, because maybe they're not on your email list. Maybe they're on the Instagram. Or maybe they're on LinkedIn, or they're on Facebook. So the idea with this topic today and what we want to get into, the idea is to extend your reach to places and spaces where your potential customers are already looking for answers to their challenges. Another reason that we want to talk about repurposing your content is your ability to repeat a marketing message. I don't know if you realize this, But studies show that a person needs to hear your message anywhere between 7, sometimes to 10 times before they act and want to buy. Years ago, I used to work as a media buyer. And one of the things that I did was I bought radio, I bought cable, I bought TV ads. And one of my biggest numbers that I was always looking for was my frequency numbers. How frequently could I get my ad on the air at the best price available? Because I'm a media buyer, or I was a media buyer. But the idea was to make sure that we got that message out enough times so that not only did people hear it, that they actually listened or read it or clicked on it or saw it or engaged with it, to get them to actually act and buy. So when we repurpose our content, it has everything to do with allowing you to reach more people. It's allowing you to do more than just, trying to think about what I'm going to post today, because I need to post every single day, because that's not what frequency is all about. Frequency isn't just a new piece of content. And it doesn't just also mean reusing an old piece of content over and over again. That's not what repurposing is. The real purpose, the real definition of repurposing content is to take your best content and update it to make it fresh for a new audience. So if you've never done any repurposing before, or maybe you have and you're just looking for some ideas, let me run through some suggestions about some things that you could be doing when you are repurposing your content. Let's say that you have an amazing blog post. And I'll give you a really good example. I'm going to give you a real life example of something that I personally have. I wrote a blog post called 10 Social Media Things That You Can Do in 15 Minutes. At this time, it is currently in the thousands of reach. And I know because I've got the numbers on my blog post, so I can see most of it is coming from Pinterest, but a lot of it's coming from another organic source because of the way that I created that blog post around keywords. So I could take this blog post and I could create some visual content with this. I could pull a quote from my blog post and I could turn this into a graphic. And then I could link to that blog post. That's a repurposing. I could make an infographic that I could summarize all 10 of those ideas, and then I could use that as my link on Pinterest or on Facebook, and then link to my blog post. I could also take that blog post copy and I could turn this into a video. I could go each step. I could give you, the examples of the 10 things, and I could describe what the 10 things are. And then I could share that on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram stories, LinkedIn posts, right? And then I could even take that video and break it into smaller chunks, and then I could use it on Twitter or Threads. Or I could create like an Instagram story series or something like that. So think about all of those ideas that I just came up with for one blog post, one top piece of content that I currently have right now. And I could start sharing it and sharing it on different platforms without really having to go through writing a whole new blog post, writing a whole new, researching and all of that stuff that goes into a blog post. And I could share this to more people by just doing a few simple, creating new visual content, taking the blog post and turning it into a video and then sharing it in other places. Another idea that you can do is I could always share that blog post in my email. I email my list twice a week, and I could put that blog post in the email, and I could say, here's some great information. Even though it was written a while ago, it's still relevant. Or, because I've got tons more of ideas, I am the idea magnet, that's what they call me. You could turn that blog post content into a content upgrade. And as a matter of fact, that's one of the things that I am working on right now when it comes to this blog post, because this blog post is already generating enough traffic for me that I know that it is good content. So one of the things that I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn that blog post into a content upgrade. Most likely I'm going to do all 10 of those things. I'll turn it into a PDF. And I'm thinking what I might do is I might add 5 more ideas onto it. And then what that will do is add more people into my email list. So thinking about all of those things that I talked about, all of those ideas that I shared with you about how to convert a blog post into repurposed content. So if we move away from my blog post idea, let me give you some other thoughts too. You could always collect several of your top blog posts and turn them into an ebook. Think about all of the questions that you get. Think about all of the things that people come to you, your frequently asked questions, the challenges. Think about the questions that you see that come up in Facebook groups. And if you've got content already, if you've already have a blog post that answers this question, another blog post that answers that question, is there a way that you can take all of those blog posts together and turn them into an ebook? Or create a valuable resource for people that answers their questions? Think about how repurposing your content is going to help you reach more people without you having to do a whole bunch of work. Instead of just writing that entire ebook from scratch, you now have all of these blog posts with the copy and the research and all of the things that you've already done to pull them all together, including images and including the fact that you've most likely already started sharing them. So there's a way that you can pull all of this together and turn this into repurposed content. So we think about this. So you get this, right? So I can keep going and going and going. And that's not what this video is about today. And I don't want to just spend a whole video giving you lists and lists and lists, because I want to get into not just repurposing your content, because I think by now you get this. You get the idea about what I'm talking about. But how do you decide which content that you should be using to reshare? The first place that you want to go is to check your blog post, check your videos, even check some of your social media posts and see which ones would be considered evergreen. So let's talk about evergreen. What does it mean to be evergreen content? Evergreen content talks about specific topics that will stay relevant and valuable for long periods of time. And maybe you need to do a minor update because the date or the data or something like that needs to change out. But it's not like you need to start from scratch, and because it's still great, valuable content. And I get it. You're probably thinking, hold on a minute here. All content online is evergreen, right? Because it's all there. It doesn't ever disappear. Well, it is, but no, it's not. No, it's really not. Because when we talk about a piece of content being evergreen, we want to make sure that that piece of content continues to be relevant long past the date that you hit that, publish button. And when that happens, it continues to allow traffic to grow to your website over time. So let me tell you exactly what evergreen content is not. Because it's not just everything that you just hit the publish button on because, blog posts don't disappear. Evergreen content is not statistics or reports that are likely to change and go out of date. Evergreen content is not pieces about a specific holiday or season, because it's not something that's going to be searchable all year round. Evergreen content is not articles that are focused on current trend or some pop culture fad. And evergreen content is not connected to the latest event in your industry. What we want to do is we want to think about content that's going to continue to be valuable. That blog post that I shared with you in my earlier example, I wrote that blog post in 2019. And it is 2023 right now as you're listening to this video. That's a long time for a piece of content to still be driving traffic. And I know that it drives traffic. And I know because not only do I can see it popping up consistently when I check my Pinterest account, I also see it popping up consistently when I look at my Google Analytics. It is always the top one, if not number two, when I look at my list between those searchable platforms, which is Google and Pinterest. So if we want to think about the reason, why do we even want to add evergreen content in there? Let me give you a few, which I know will make sense to you as a small business owner and things that you definitely want to see happening in your business. Some of the ideas or some of the reasons why you want to add evergreen content is, number one, it's definitely going to drive prospects into your sales funnel. You'll be showing your expertise. You'll be sharing relevant content. And when they find this content and when they come across it, and because it's relevant to them, no matter when they find it, you will be encouraging these visitors to go to your website. And there's a good chance that they don't know who you are, they don't know your products or services, but if they love that content and they found the value in it, there's a good chance that they could sign up to your email list to learn more about who you are and what you do. And as I shared with you from my blog post, it continuously drives traffic to my website every single month. Let me tell you, sometimes I think it's just the silliest thing, 10 social media things you can do in 15 minutes. The silliest thing, but yet valuable content that continues to drive traffic to my website. And I always support it with other type of content too. You know, I always share it on my platforms. I am consistently, like I said before, I'm in the current I'm in a current place right now where I'm going to be adding a content upgrade to it. So then I'm going to take the traffic and then hopefully turn that into an opportunity for me to grow my email list. And the third thing that it does is it improves your search engine rankings. The really smart thing about evergreen topics is that they are often the most searched questions that people are looking for. And when your content is equal to the information that people are looking for, it is likely to rank higher on the search engines. And if you keep showing up in the search engines, it's going to keep growing in the results, especially if it is high quality content that you're sharing. And speaking of high quality, we definitely know that evergreen content creates value both for you and your customers. Evergreen content will always address any kind of common questions, challenges, something that your audience is struggling with. And when you create this, it provides your community with answers to their questions while it creates value for you because it is giving you steady, organic results for your websites. And I totally get the idea. I totally get that if you've not done this before, but you just want to reshare some content, you're going to say, okay, I'm just going to go to my most popular post because that's what Penny said, that's what she does. But I also want you to think about it from this side of it too. It's not just because that post did really, really well. The reason that is evergreen content for me is because of what the value that the content provides. So keep in mind that even if you've got a post that didn't do so well when you first shared it, it doesn't mean that it's not good content. So what does it take to really make good evergreen content? It's going to be based on two really important elements. Number one, your content needs to be timeless. And no matter when you're reposting it, it is still relevant to your community. It is still answering the questions that people are typing into a Google search. And the other thing that it needs to do for to be evergreen content is it needs to be high quality. So not only is it connected to an SEO keyword topic, but it needs to be an in-depth blog or a video series. It's not something that's going to be, like 3-4 paragraphs. It's going to go deep, like a long-form blog long form blog post. Why is that so hard to say? Let me say that again. Long form blog post. There you go. Or a video series. That's high quality content. That is the content that I am talking about, and that's what makes it evergreen. And let me give you a real side note. I know I kept saying about keywords and SEO. I just want to touch on this really quick. When it comes to the keywords with regards to your evergreen content, I want you to make sure that you choose the right keywords. Specifically, 1 or 2 keywords are great, but I like to go with a long tail keyword. And for me, a long tail keyword is not just 1 or 2 words. And I'll give you the example of a long tail keyword. So a long tail keyword, let me start the sentence over again. So keywords could be social media marketing. But a long tail keyword was when I said 10 social media ideas. So social media ideas that you can do in 15 minutes. So social media marketing ideas. That's a long tail keyword. So not only have I included social media, I put ideas, I put marketing in there. So I added in however somebody would type that in. So if they put social media ideas, I could come up. If somebody put social media marketing, I could come up. If social media marketing ideas, I could come up. So the more that you're adding to that long tail keyword, the more the evergreen piece is going to work, because it doesn't help you if people aren't searching for that topic. So before you even dig into all of this evergreen stuff, do your SEO keyword research and just make sure that what you're creating and the content that you're working on is something that is searchable. Okay, so let's go through that. I just wanted to touch on that because I realized I kept saying SEO and keywords over and over again, and I just wanted to make sure that you all were clear about what I was talking about. All right, so let's jump back into this. Let's talk more about creating evergreen content, because the idea really behind evergreen content is finding out what your customers want to know, and you're answering those questions. It's really that simple. And when you make this a part of your strategy, make this a evergreen content a huge part of your strategy, it becomes like a powerhouse that just drives ongoing growth with everything that you publish. It touches everything. So if I've landed on your website because of a blog post that I found in a Google search, there's a really good chance that I might read other blogs. And there's a really good chance that I might go to your homepage, that I might go to your about page, that I go to your services and your products page. So that one piece of content could get me to get to your website, and I can learn more about who you are, what you do, and how you can help me with those questions that I just typed in to my Google search, right? So once you've been able to figure out which content you want to repurpose, and you think about which one you want to turn into evergreen content, take a look at everything there, especially if you are going to take some of your other content, like your other blog posts, and you wanted to turn them into an ebook, or you've got a great blog post right now and it just needs, a little extra something, like I was sharing with mine, the one about the social media, the content upgrade that I was trying to say. Why I couldn't figure out that word. I know that word. Okay. So I want you to take a look at it with a fresh set of eyes and see if maybe you can expand upon this topic. Has something changed? Or maybe you've learned a little bit more information since the post went up. What can you do to update the post copy before you reshare it on new platforms? Again, giving you the example of my post, I had written about Twitter in that. And now I'm going to go back into that post and I'm going to add in threads. And I'm going to add in a couple of other things that have changed, like Google Analytics has changed and some of the other pieces and parts. So I'm going to update that piece of content. Even though it's already driving traffic, I'm going to update that piece of content to add in some more social platforms that are happening that were not available to us in 2019 when I first wrote this. And I'm going to add a content upgrade so that I can add to my email list. So a few little tweaks like that is going to turn my evergreen content into an opportunity that's not only going to just drive more traffic to my website, but it's going to also allow me to grow my email list. So think about all of these pieces and parts that I just shared with you. And as you continue to move through your own content creation process, I want you to think about how you can start developing content with repurposing in mind. Think about how you can share it, change it and put in new images and pull pieces of it and create quotes and infographics and all of those types of things, and how you can share this on different social media sites. And when you are able to do these small little steps, it actually frees up your time so that you can focus more on building your business rather than just thinking about what you're going to say online for that day. So thank you so much for joining me today with this creative process. If you've enjoyed this content about creativity, I hope you'll consider subscribing to this channel. And if you are ready to dig into the deep work of developing your content marketing strategy and you're ready to do something different, the link is below to subscribe to the Create Your Business program. In it, you will get monthly interactive workbooks that show up in your inbox with a ton of content like I talked through today. And the really great thing about this process is you have creative tools that are going to show up at your front door every single month. And then you will learn how to tap into that right side of your brain and tap into your creativity so that you can develop your content marketing plans in a new way to ensure that you, my friend, will never run out of content ideas again. Because you are magnificent, my friend. And let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.